that graphics in games aren't an important aspect, but to be perfectly honest with you, a good-looking game gets my attention more. I know it's shallow, I know great graphics don't make a great game, but sometimes I just gotta have my eye candy. I think bonus points go out to games where I'd actually legitly love to visit the place if it were ever in real life. Frogatto and Friends, with its ocean views, lush green grass, and mysterious dark forests, has such settings. Thankfully though, Frogatto isn't just something Windows 7 might use as a screensaver. It's got a great 16-bit style platformer built in with a nice amount of depth, personality, and a lot of cool extras. So our hero Frogatto has himself Rayman's amphibian body and is the classic textbook definition of a slacker. He has no job, he gets up only in the afternoon, he doesn't even bathe, and he's always asking people for money before helping out friends. Seriously, this guy's all about fun and no real work. Sounds familiar. Just kidding! But on his way to fill out an application for the local Staples, he finds that the town's being held hostage with killer cutesy ants, an army of cats equipped with guns, spears, and bombers, and even bombing fools. Whatever that means. The writing here is very loose and has some genuinely funny moments in it, especially the hilarious confrontation at the end of the game. Trust me, it's worth seeing. Frogatto reminds me a lot of a fun cartoon character with his well-animated and written personality. I wouldn't be surprised 20 years ago to find this guy in the Disney afternoon. So if our toady friend wants to really get some work, my nickel's worth of free advice is to ask Yoshi if he's looking for some more green buddies. You see, the trick that our hero has is being able to swallow up enemies with his tongue and use them as projectiles. One thing I'm sure would look great on that resume is being able to wall climb, swim, and double dash. I know these might be standard skills for our regular average platforming hero, but the game's area fits very well with your character. The level design has nice, big areas that encourage a lot of exploration to help find coins throughout the level. With these coins, you can buy upgrades for health, new abilities, and unlock power-ups throughout the game. For the levels, you'll be swimming underwater, finding hidden passages, going through houses, basements, caves, castle corridors. The game has a nice variety and has a lot of different ways to go through them. I found myself going back and exploring the rest of the area to see what it had to offer. There are a few secrets to find in the game, and a couple little extras like finding a golden ant for this guy. Yeah, kind of a strange hobby to have. When finding just the right words to describe the overall presentation and graphics of Frogatto, the words crisp and rich come to mind. Frogatto was made by some of the same development team as Battle of West Knob, and decided early on to go all out with the presentation, even only with having a limited fixed budget. The team felt confident with their past experiences that they could make a great looking product even with the limitations. In fact, here's an early build of the game. Yeah, kinda bland, huh? Now take a look at the latest version. Yeah, world of difference, right? No pun intended. As you walk past, the backgrounds flow very well. There's a good variety in the enemies, and there are all sorts of little touches added in, like these lines in the forest were later replaced with boxes. Yes, this game is good because it has boxes in the background! The music and audio are also worth mentioning. It has this kind of Sega Genesis meets orchestral soundtrack, and like the graphics, are a pleasure to your senses. Now this game is available for the PC, the Mac, and the Linux. I controlled Frogatto with both the keyboard and the gamepad, and he controls pretty well for using both in the freeware version. Now in this... yeah, I gotta find a subtler way of doing that. In terms of difficulty, the game is pretty forgiving at times, with lots of generous save points and not much penalty for dying. Sometimes you'll respawn in the exact same place you fell. It does hurt the game, making the experience a short 2.5 to 3 hours long. Another minor complaint is that sometimes it's hard to judge whether a pit below will cause death or lead to another platform. And just once I fell down here. Oh, balls. There wasn't any escape from this pit, and I had to wait until my character died from these missiles. This stuff only happened once or twice, but it is still a minor flaw. But wait, have you played through all the game and didn't like the level design? Well, you're in luck. Just go into your game and press Ctrl-E. That's right, kiddies, this game has a level editor. It's a bit like the debug mode in Sonic the Hedgehog, where you can add new platforms for the different areas, even for the title screen. It's a nice little feature to the game. Also, if you're a game maker and are curious about the programming and the tech side of game making, it's worth exploring the team's blog and wiki that goes into extreme detail from the making behind the game. They've also made it an open source game, which means you can take a look at all the coding behind the game's design. It's some nice community service for the programmers out there. So while this game isn't completely flawless, it's still 3 hours worth having. Even without knowing anything about the team or the making behind the game, it still shows a great amount of polish and that the team really went the extra mile. Even though this game is freeware, it's also available for the iPhone, currently for $1. A few critics and users have mentioned that the controls are sometimes hit and miss for the iPhone, and I definitely can vouch for it, but for the most part it's been received positively by people who've played it. Great charm, great characters, great gaming community service. What else can I say except that Frogatto and Friends is a looker definitely worth looking into. That sounded kinda wrong.